How do you make that leap from the self-produced micro-budget film and web series to the multi-million dollar productions and beyond? That is the question I receive most often, that I'm dedicating this entire series to addressing that question. At the end of each episode, I'm going to gift you with a little optional homework assignment that will take you somewhere between 2 to 10 minutes and move you forward in your work wherever you're at, even if you've never done a thing and you're just thinking about it. So at the end of each episode, I'm going to gift you with an assignment. Welcome to the Independent Film School. I'm Thier. Welcome, IFSers. That leap from the tiny self-produced budget production to the multi-million dollar thing is such a big question that I'm not just devoting this episode to it, I'm creating an entire series around it. One big glaring problem with me creating the series. The big problem at hand is that this is not something I've done. So what this series actually is a video diary of me trying to make that leap. And so I invite you to follow me here week to week as I take steps, baby steps, medium steps, whatever steps I can figure out to make that leap. If you'd like to watch me sometimes mostly fail and then every once in a blue moon do something that might work, follow me here, subscribe, hit the notification button. And let me tell you, I have no idea how this series ends. I have no idea if the film that I'm producing this year is going to take me through this big leap. You and I together are going to find out. Quick intro to me if we're new to each other. My first feature film, Foreign Letters, was crowdfunded, literally like $20 donations. I gathered together $40,000, and that's what the film was made with. I did manage to sell it to a distributor. I'll talk about that whole rigmarole in another episode. And then my second feature film, same thing, crowdfunded. The total was $100,000. That included $60,000 in the can, and then I'd have to look at the numbers. And then post-production and publicity was the rest of it. We publicized it ourselves. By we, I mean me and a couple of friends who did this with me. So I'm the queen of micro-budget films. I love, love, love my features. I've also written, directed, produced, performed in, edited many, many short films that I really, really love. Budget range anywhere between $0, $500, $1,000, and up to like $20,000 was, I think, the most expensive short that I produced. Everything crowdfunded, everything self-produced. And so I am now with this very substantial body of work. I have many scripts. I have 2 features. I also have 2 features where I was a work for hire, a writer for hire, and lots of shorts. With this very substantial body of work, it's time for me to push through and make that leap into the multi-million dollar film and beyond. So thank you for joining me on this show and following me as I try to do this. Again, I have no idea if I'll succeed. I have no idea if I'll succeed this time around. This is the one thing I do know for sure. I know that I'm producing my 3rd feature film this year, aiming for the summer. So I know I'm producing my 3rd feature film this year. That's set in stone. And the reason it's set in stone is because I don't really care, in terms of how it moves my career forward or whatever. I'm an artist first and foremost, and I got to do my work. Otherwise, I'm going to wilt inside. I got to do my work. So hell, if I spend my life as a filmmaker knocking on doors, pounding the pavement, waiting on a thing, that, the other, I got to do my work. I got to make work. Did you hear that? I tried. Anyways, so I'm producing my 3rd feature film this year, and I'm wildly excited about it. Whatever budget I end up working with, I am so excited about the fact that I get to make this film that I've written, that I'm that I'm super in love with. Okay, so how do we make this leap? Where to begin? I want to say that the how-to is the wrong question. It's certainly the wrong question if it's your first question. I just don't think it can work if it's the first question. Because doing something this challenging really what it requires is mental strength. It requires being willing to get humiliated, get disappointed, fall on your face, dust your knees, keep going. It's about persistence. It's about being willing to play the long game. And you can't play the long game without starting with why. Why has to be your first question. That's your rocket fuel, the why. It's not the how. So let's start with why. Why am I raising $1 to $5 million to make my next film? Well, I'll tell you what's not the answer. Do I need $1 to $5 million to make my next film? No, I definitely do not need. Sure, I can create a budget that shows you why I absolutely need that amount of money. I don't need that amount of money. I don't need $1 million. I certainly don't need $5 million. And I certainly don't need God knows how many millions of dollars people spend on films and whatever. I don't need it. I made 2 feature films that I'm absolutely in love with. I love them so, so much. And I created them with sticks and stones, crowdfunded, 40,000, 100,000. That's been my budget for the features. And the film that I plan to produce this year, I could create it with that amount. I could create it with $100,000, and I'm going to. So I have that as plan C. At this point, because I've built such a substantial body of work and I've built such a network, at this point, which is not the case in the past, at this point, if I want to make a film with $100,000, I have those resources. God knows with my first feature film and second, I had to work so hard to raise that amount of money. So, good to notice that I have made some progress and that at this point, I can just go ahead and do it without spending the bulk of my energy raising those 100K. Back to why. So why am I raising $1 to $5 million if I don't need it to make the film? So I said that it's not, I don't need it. The other reason that's not my answer is it would be a better film. If I have $1 to $5 million, I will make a better film. Also, not my reason, not the reason at all. It's less work. It's, and you can get, you can pay a more experienced crew, and then you can raise production value. So you have more money for gear, blah, 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 maybe locations, maybe the set design. I mean, Tomorrow Ever After, I think our budget for set design was a few $100s, literally a few $100s. So I'll be more comfortable here. Yeah, it'll raise production value, but I don't even think production value is what makes for a great film. I remember when I saw the movie once, I saw it in the theater and I was so in love with it, I had to go see it twice, ironically. I saw it once, twice. It got an Oscar for Best Song, and it made such a splash, and rightly so. It's such a beautiful film. That film has this brown grainy thing. It looks like a home video. I don't think production value makes for a better film. I also don't think that celebrities make a better film. Yeah, you know, with $1 to $5 million, you could get better known actors. They're not necessarily better actors. They're just better known actors. So I'm 1,000% convinced that the quality of the film is about the quality of the script and the quality of the performances. And the $1 to $5 million or whatever budget you have do not ensure the quality of the script and do not ensure the quality of the performances. You and I have both seen movies made with $100 million that were kind of whatever. You don't even remember that movie. because the script didn't really do anything for you. And the performances, if the script doesn't work, the performances can't really work. The size of a film is all about the quality of the script and the performances. That's the bottom line. And having millions of dollars does not guarantee that. So then why? Why go through all these hoops and try and raise all this money? One word: exposure, distribution. One of my biggest heartaches as an artist has been not managing to get distribution for Tomorrow Ever After. It is an exceptional film. It really is. People who see it tell me that they've never seen a film like it. And I agree with them. I haven't either. And I gotten lots of awards, and we did a good job publicizing it with the budget we had independently. We got really great reviews. We had 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes while it was in theater. We were four-walling it in New York, in LA. We did manage to get the Lumley Theater to show it. So, but at the end of the day, we got one distribution deal that I did not accept. There was no money up front, and lots of reasons. I'll talk about distribution in another episode. But I'll tell you this, we found a film sales agent who fell in love with the film, like many did, and she took it on and she brought it to Sony Picture Classics, and the team at Sony Pictures loved the film. The head of Sony Pictures, his entire team, and they weren't blowing smoke. I know that they loved it because the sales agent showed me, probably she shouldn't have, showed me an email that he wrote her. Just her. He didn't think he was going to talk to me at all, saying that how much he and his team loved the film. And when I saw that email, I found the gumption to reach out to him myself, and I asked for a meeting. And I brought with me Nabil Vinyas, who co-stars in the film and was my producing partner in it, one of several. And Nabil and I went out there and spoke to the big decision maker at Sony Picture Classics. And again, he went over how much he loved the film. And the bottom line was, he said, we cannot risk distributing a film with nobody known in it. There was no known actors, no known director. It didn't show at Sundance. It didn't get into Sundance. They're just too risk averse, And at some point in the conversation, I pushed back. I tried. At some point in the conversation, I said, what are you afraid of? What are you actually afraid of? That you'll lose your job? And he looked at me and he said, yes, that is exactly what I'm afraid of. The distribution companies are not run by big risk takers. These are business people who calculate numbers and probability. They're not going to be like, this film made my heart soar. I bet, even though there's nobody known in it, we put it in theaters all over the world and it'll make everybody's heart soar. I'm convinced it would have. But I couldn't help him find the courage to do it. And it was such a heartache. And I decided after that I had to play the game. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to get the known actors and $1 million, whatever, because you can't shoot a film without those 1 to 5 million or more to get actors that a distributor is going to be willing to take a risk on. So between you and me, that's the reason I'm doing it. That said, even when it comes to exposure, I'm not even sure, the landscape has so changed. And these days there are YouTubers, influencers with bigger audiences and more views and more followers than some of the biggest networks out there, including Sony Picture Classics. So I don't even know that that's, that that's a reason. But I'm gonna try it. I'll tell you the real reason. So anyway, exposure and distribution is the official reason why I'm going for it. I'll tell you the real reason I'm going for it. The real reason that I'm going for it is because I like a good challenge. And I think that given who I am and where my limitations are and all the ways that I keep myself or think of myself as an outsider or see myself as small, I want to challenge that. And so it's really like a little gift to me. It would be healthy for me to challenge myself where I limit myself and to try and go for it. Even if I don't succeed, I'm going to learn so much from it. And if I persist, I probably will succeed eventually. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, next month, in 10 years. I don't know. But it would be good for me to persist here because the industry could use me. On occasion, they produce something really great. But I think that my work, I think it'll make a difference to have it out there because the work that I create empowers people and unifies people. It entertains while challenging our thinking about what's possible in the world. And my works are about reminding people that what we all really long for is human connection and opportunities to care about each other. And most movies and shows out there are about people being mean or some obsession, infatuation. They're either about lust or meanness and cruelty. And I think there's something I have to contribute here that would be good. So, good challenge for me and a gift to the world. I'm going to say it out loud to get my work out there. Okay, so in future episodes, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing, what steps I'm taking in order to try and make this leap. Either way, I am going to produce my third feature this year. Whether I manage to get through industry doors or I self-produce another film with another, $100,000 budget. So thank you for following me. Do subscribe, hit the notifications if you'd like to follow me on this journey. And as promised, I have a little gift assignment for you. My assignment is I want you to write a sign and tape it to your computer. Old school. Tape a sign. You can make it the wallpaper on your computer, but tape a sign to your computer and you can choose one of these two options. Either write the words, "No rush," or write this entire phrase. I choose to trust that slowing down is the fastest way to achieve my goals. Okay? No rush. Option A. Option 2. I choose to trust that slowing down is the fastest way to achieve my goals. That's my assignment for you. I want you to remember as you follow me in this adventure I'm going on, I want to remind you, I'm 51 years old right now. I've been at this for decades. I've created so many shorts, 2 features. I've built an entire film school. I've written dozens of scripts. I've done my homework. And so as I knock on industry doors, I have quite a body of work and experience behind me. If you haven't done any work, trying to raise $1 to $5 million is going to discourage you. It's going to discourage you. It's kind of like going for a lottery ticket or something. So if you haven't done any work or much work, I'm going to suggest that your next step in the $1 to $5 million movie is to create the $500 short or the $1,000 short. Or if you've done a bunch of those, maybe the $15,000 short. Or maybe you've done a bunch of work and you're ready for the $100,000 feature or web series. Go baby steps, my love. Go baby steps. I'm Thier. Thanks for tuning in to episode 1. I invite you to check out episode 2 and so forth. Subscribe and ask for notifications to follow the series. You can also join me at the link below, theindependentfilmschool.com. I offer many training sessions to screenwriters and filmmakers. Most of what I offer is free.